Hey, good morning, everyone. How's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode, Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up doing well, got the mind in the right place. But if not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So today, again, going through the motions, going through the routine, listening to the things I listen to. But I want to touch on a subject that is funny how things connect, all right? It's funny how things connect. So what I'm talking about is yesterday, I got a request from one of my students on a topic. They asked me, I'm not sure how you choose your topics, but can you speak on something? All right. And I'm like, so I read the topic and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can definitely relate and talk about that. And then later on in the day, when I went to class during training, I was rolling with one of my young assassins, like a 19, 20-year-old purple belt. And sometimes I just turn off the clock, all right? Most of the time, most of the rounds that we do day in and day out, we use the timer. We do 4 7-minute rounds. And we have to do that because we can't just turn off the clock because, people need to rotate. People need to rotate and train with different partners. But every now and then, I like to just turn off the clock. I'll grab one of the toughest partners in the room. Typically, for me, one of the young, up-and-coming, guys that we have. I like to roll with the 19, 20, 21-year-olds, mid-20 guys that are purple on up because, their conditioning is normally better. They're studying jiu-jitsu more. They're watching, videos, and they're bringing new stuff to the mats all the time. And so they're always, it's a challenge. Not that the other guys, my age and stuff like that are not a challenge, because they definitely are. They push me as well. But it's just something with rolling with the guys that are, more than half my age, it's a push. It's a different kind of push. It's a different kind of challenge. And so we did, I want to say it was probably 15, 16, I don't know, maybe 17-minute round yesterday, right? No break, just straight, all right? And after we got done training, my student asked me, hey, coach, what are you thinking? Like, how are you, basically, how am I able to do what I'm doing during a round where you are tired, you're exhausted, you're, so many scrambles have happened, and how are you still able to stay basically in the fight and, and finish the round the way I finish it, Because at the beginning of the round, normally, typically, the way the round works, they're winning, all right? And they're getting the better of the round. And that's just the way the mindset for me works, the way I've trained it to work is, and the key word is I've trained it to work, is you can have the beginning of the round, but I'm taking the end of the round, or, from the mid round to the end round, whenever that round ends, I'm taking the last portion of that. So there was about, like I said, 15, 17 minutes left of class. So there was no timer. So you couldn't look at the clock and be like, oh, there's 2 minutes left, let me stall them out, or, oh, there's 30 seconds left, let me just ride this out and hold on. You had no idea, when, I was going to call time. So the frustration had kicked in somewhere in the middle of the round with my student, to where they kind of started to unravel a little bit. And I could pick up on that. I could sense that. And I try to hide that when I roll, okay? I try not to allow I'm always talking to my students about, their poker face, disguising, that they're in trouble, disguising that something is bothering them and that they made a mistake, and, so when we got done training, he's just like, man, how are you able to do that? And the answer is because I've put myself in those positions to where I want to be tired. I want to be exhausted. I want to know where I'm at, jiu-jitsu wise, technical wise, but more importantly, mental toughness wise, when I'm completely exhausted. Because, when you first start a round, for anyone that's watching that does jiu-jitsu, or when you do anything, when you start fresh, you're fresh. You got full strength, full power. Your mind is good. You're good in the beginning. But what happens when you're fully exhausted, when you're tired and your mind starts to get weak and it wants to quit on you? All right. And the only way to train that is to put yourself in those positions and push through it and push past it and understand, hey, I've been here before. I know what this is like. I'm going to, I want to get to this specific position and see how if I can get past it, and I've done that so many times that I guess I'm just used to it. I'll make a comment to my guys sometimes, like, I just want to drag you into deep waters because I know where I can go. I know how far I can swim, but how far can you swim, so to speak, not literally, but in a grappling match, or just in life, period. I've been using that to kind of correlate with that. But I know how far I can go. I can do a 30-minute round and still get up, get a drink of water, and go again, instead of like, man, I'm done for the day, because I've done rounds like that. I put myself in positions with the toughest guys in horrible positions and been able to fight through that because I put myself there. So the title today, because this is one of the things that I got from my student yesterday. We don't rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. Okay, and that's a David Goggins thing, right? And where this is coming from is this student was watching two of our other students train the other day, and one had the better position and was basically winning the round with like a minute left or less than a minute left. And they looked over at the clock. They got tired and they let the position go, and basically almost lost the match, or lost the match, so they're asking me, David Goggins has this thing he calls the 40% rule. Your mind can go this far and it's trained to go this far, but if you can train it to go this far and this far and this far, then basically it's unlimited, right? You can do whatever it is that you want to do because you've gone past the threshold, the pain, and you know what that's like. You've lived there and been there and accepted that you're comfortable there, and you know that you'll work your way out. So that, going back to my student that I was rolling with yesterday, that was the explanation. It's just so funny that these things connected. The message that I was sent yesterday, and then I get to class and I roll, and we happen to do this long round, and my student was doing really good against me until about midway mark, and then towards the end I took over, and they can just see that there's a difference there. Like my the answer that I gave my student yesterday was, well, when I'm in a bad position like that, when I'm rolling for that long, because I made a mistake yesterday. I tried to do a takedown and they countered it and put me on my back, and then the pressure was coming. So we've already grappled a long time, and now he's on top. He can feel the mistake that I made. He's seen the mistake that I made. So then the pressure's coming even heavier. So I was just able to hang in there, put myself in a position to where I can recover. And then I did recover. And then I changed the position on him. And now I'm back on top. And now I'm winning. And then I just took over the rest of the round like that. But you can only do that if you've been there before. And if you're just always doing like, I don't know, some people do really short rounds at their academy. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not disrespecting the way anyone trains. It's just, I know when we do longer rounds or I just turn the clock off, it scares people. It literally scares people. They look over and I hear it across the room. Oh, like, why isn't he turning? Hey, coach, the clock isn't going. Yeah, I know. Like, I purposely turned it off. And so many people are looking at me, hey, I can last, 7 minutes with this guy or this girl, but he turned the clock off. I don't know when he's going to turn when he's going to call time. So the mind starts to trip on you. The mind starts to just go in all kind of crazy places versus turn the clock off. Cool. Let's roll. Let's get after it. Let's train. Let's see where my jiu-jitsu can take me. Let's see, like I said, when you're strong, you're fresh, and the round just starts, you're good. But how good is your technique when you're tired? How good is your technique when you're exhausted and your mind wants to quit on you? That, to me, is pure jiu-jitsu. Like, that's what it's meant for you to do, to survive and hang in there until you're able to overcome the obstacle that's in front of you and then win the battle. So later on, we had class at night, and I had another student ask me kind of the same similar question. They were in a bad position during a competition round that we were doing, and they were just asking me, like, how do I fix that? And how do you fix that is by, again, putting yourself there and not running from it, okay? So again, we don't rise to the level of our expectations. We all want to win. We all want to do good. But are we really training ourselves to win? Are we really training ourselves, is our level of training where it should be to put us in a position to win? I got so many people that want to, be successful in jiu-jitsu, that want to win a tournament, that want to do whatever, but they don't run, they don't work out, they don't do extra rounds, they don't ask questions, they don't do a lot of things. They don't eat right, they just train. They just come to class and train jiu-jitsu, and that's it. That's only going to take you so far. I know that I run 3 days a week. I run 3 miles every other day. I get off this episode here. I got a 3-mile run to do, and then I got jiu-jitsu after that. Because why? Because I roll with 19, 21-year-olds, that are beasts, and that, I know that their conditioning is better than someone that's in their mid-40s, okay? I'm 45. I'll be 46 in a couple months. I want to test myself against these young guys. So in order for me to do that, I can't just rely on my jiu-jitsu. I know my jiu-jitsu is good, but they got youth, they got strength, they got, all this stuff on their side. So how do I defeat that? How do I hang in there with that? How do I push past that threshold? I work out. I run 3 days a week. No skipping days. There's no excuses. Birthday, no birthday, holiday, no holiday, doesn't matter. It just has to get done, because why? I need to know that, I just know I need to do the things that I need to do to get in there and roll with my younger students like that. And it's a challenge every single day. But because I've been there and done that so many times, when things do get tough, I do get tired, I do get exhausted, I am losing the round, my mind is like, man, we've been here so many times. You know how to get back out of these positions. So let's go. And it's funny because, like, one of my other students last night, he's like, yeah, I know that when I pass your guard or I do something good on you, his mind tells him, man, I messed up. Like, here he did something good. He did good. He did something really good against me. Instead of being like, all right, coach, this is it, man, I got you now. It's like, uh-oh, I messed up. And that's the mindset. That's the level of training that I put myself through, that when you do something good against me, it is like, man, I better hold on tight, because if I let him loose, it's going to be over with, all right? Because he's going to come back and he's going to put me where he's going to put me at, So you see the mindset shift there? Like, my mindset grows and gets better and tougher as things get tougher, versus so many people, when they do get taken down, they get their guard passed, they are losing by a certain amount of points, they are tired, they give up. It's over. And that's one of the things I was telling one of my other students yesterday. You cannot allow because I was watching one of the rounds yesterday. One of the guys did something to someone else, and the guy that got swept or got put on bottom swore. You're not supposed to swear on the mat, but he swore. No one, it wasn't loud, he really didn't hear him, it was like in the corner. But I heard it, and I told him, I'm like, you can say that to yourself internally, but you can't actually speak that out into existence, because the guy that just swept you heard you say that, and that's energy for them. That's a momentum shift for them. Oh, you're mentally getting beat. It's time to come get you now. At least that's how my mind works, and that's how my jiu-jitsu works. You gotta hide it. You can't put it out there. So when you make a mistake, when things get tough, and you're being dragged into deep waters, and your mind wants to run, man. Your mind wants to go in another direction. And that's what I've been telling some of my students lately. You need to go towards the fire, man. You need to go towards the problem, go towards the hard thing that's giving you trouble, and live there for a while. Be comfortable with that for a while so that you can adjust to it, so that you know that you can handle that. But if you're always running and you're always taking off in another direction from something that you're uncomfortable with, something that you don't like, something that you're not good at, something that you're getting tired from or getting beat from, you will never, ever, ever, ever come back from those positions, and you will always be the same. You need to put yourself in positions that suck. And that's why jiu-jitsu is so much like life, as I tell my students all the time. In jiu-jitsu, you're supposed to use like the path of least resistance kind of thing to defeat your opponent, meaning, if you're pushing me, I pull you, kind of thing. Like if you push me, I don't push back. Okay, you take the path of least resistance. But when it comes to the rounds and it comes to turning off the clock, you don't run from that. You go towards that. You're like, okay, this is going to be tough. And when I get exhausted, my mind is going to shift in another gear to where I can push past it. Because like David Goggins talks about, he's talking about cars have governors. Like on the dashboard, your car might say 130 miles, but there's a governor on it that's going to make it, not go. You're not really going to go that far. It's got a governor on it that's going to make it slow down like at 91 or 92 miles an hour. So he's talking about our brains are built that way. Like as soon as things get tough, the safety mechanism comes in. Hey, whoa, don't do that. This might hurt a little bit. This is going to get tough. So what happens? We slow down on the speed, and then we don't go past the threshold there. So, again, we don't rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. We all want to win. So many of my students want to win. So many of my students want to do really, really good. They want to be a whatever purple belt or whatever kind of brown belt or whatever black belt. But are you really doing the things that you're supposed to be doing to be that? Your level of training doesn't match your expectations. The things that you're doing aren't matching up to what you really want to be. So when you try to get to that position and it gets tough, oh, I suck. My jiu-jitsu is no good. I don't know. Like I hear so many horrible things that people say about their jiu-jitsu. I can't stand it. I really can't. It really bothers me when people talk bad about themselves. But it is what it is. It's just how people are. It's just how you're never going to hear me say that I suck and I'm no good and put myself down. I'm just not going to do that to myself. Whatever it is that it's not good at, I'm going to fix it and get after it and make it better. You will never hear me tell myself, speak out, at least speak it into existence that I'm no good and I suck and I'm mediocre and I'm average and I'm just never going to be whatever it is that I'm trying to be. I'm not built that way because why? I train myself to not talk like that. I'm not training myself to lose. I'm training myself to win. So how is your level of training? All right. How is your level of training versus your expectations? You got high expectations. You want to win something. You want to be good at something. But what are you really doing to really get there? And jiu-jitsu is the truth, man. Jiu-jitsu is the truth. Like it is the truth. It will show you and hurt your feelings. It will break you down because you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing to get there. It's just what it is. So this question that I got, and if you have any questions or if you got any kind of topics that you want me to kind of go over, believe me, I've been there and done that with so many things. I'm not like a young 20-year-old like, oh man, why am I taking advice from this guy? Like he hasn't really lived life yet. I've lived life. I'm not 80 years old either, but, and I want to get to that point. I want to experience more things and get past more things. But as far as jiu-jitsu goes and the way that I train myself and the things that I've done and competed all over the world and the things that the obstacles that I put in front of me to go get past and got past them, I definitely can help people out with like a mental block, a mental barricade that's in front of you. I can help you get past that. So if you have a topic you want me to go over, I'll be more than happy to just send me a message like my student did yesterday, and we can go over that. But we don't rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. Again, the 40% rule. You want to hear more about it? David Goggins put in 40% rule. Video pops up like that. You can hear him speak about it. Hear his experience and what he's talking about. His his runs and hell weeks and stuff with the Navy SEALs. I'm speaking from experience on how I put myself through my own kind of training through jiu-jitsu, on how I get past that scared zone, that zone where you want to run from. Again, people know when I turn off the clock, like I said, it just really scares people. Coach, what are you doing? Hey, coach, like something's wrong with the clock. Hey, coach, you forgot to turn the clock on. No, I didn't. It's time to go. It's time to get after it. It's time to see where your mind really is at when things get tough. Try to see where your jiu-jitsu is at, how pure it is when you're exhausted, tired, you have no strength left, and your mind wants to quit. Pure jiu-jitsu, that's where it's at. And you can only do that with the really long rounds, 15-minute rounds, 20-minute rounds, 30-minute rounds. Not with someone that you can beat, but someone that's going to push you and put you in bad positions and go back and forth with you in exchanges to where you guys can help each other like that. So, again, just a question I got from one of my students yesterday. Happened to roll with another student yesterday. He pretty much asked me the same thing after our roll, after our 15-minute roll or whatever. And then later on at night, I had another student ask me kind of the same thing. So all these things connect and they all come together. And the answer is you need to put yourself in the worst positions possible when you're tired and exhausted and see where you're at. Then you'll be able to gauge yourself and be like, okay, now I can go a little further. Now I can go a little further. I've been here. I live here. I like this. Let's get after it. All right, guys, so I'm going to leave it there. Got to get this run in. Layer up. It's a little Chilly Willy outside. Some people don't know who Chilly Willy is. Man, it's tough. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll see you.